Hello everyone, Nick here. Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So no shave today. Today I want to explain to you some problems I found with these cheap AC style folding razor, um, the cheap knockoffs. I've been having problems with them and I tried researching it on YouTube and on the internet and I couldn't find anything. So if you're having the same problems, I thought I would present this information here. This is the $10 knockoff, feather knockoff, and it is the Bang Ming barber razor. When you first buy this razor, it is going to be this. It's going to be this Bang Ming right here. They actually come in with these scales here, and I took it out and I put it in these custom scales that were made for me. These custom scales had this shavette that takes half of a DE blade. I don't shave with these. I don't like them. In my opinion, they're way too sharp. They're super sharp. They're machine sharp, and they're way too sharp for me. If you can use them, good for you. That's really good. I'm glad you can do that. I can't. I mean, I have, but it's very uncomfortable and it's not worth my time. I don't like them, so if I can swap them out and get rid of them, I do. So the Bang Ming. This is, like I said, the cheap $10 knockoff from the Feather. And here's the Feather here. You can see the Feather emblem there. And these are also custom scales that were made for me. And so I don't think it's a design flaw, because this design is so popular and it is so good that other companies are copying this design. I think it's a manufacturing flaw. And let me get this back up here. I'll show you exactly what I mean. We're going to take the top cap, or not top caps, it's a side cap. I'm going to take the side caps off of these guys here. And that way I can explain to you exactly what I'm looking at. So this is the Feather cap here. And if you look at this cap, it has a huge edge right here. There is a lot of material on that edge. And that edge right there is where your razor blade rests. Your razor blade will rest right up against that edge when you load the razor blade. If you look at the razor head here, you have this edge, and also there is quite a bit, of material there. So not only is this a great design, great manufacturing, top notch, no issues here. No issues there. That is great. Okay, so like I said, I pointed out the big giant edge here. If you look at this cap here, the edge here is almost non-existent. And you can see a lot of scratching from the manufacturing process, and it's just not as great. You know, the quality is just not there. But the main thing right here that gives you the problem is this edge is just so small. It is so minute. It's barely even thick enough to hold onto the blade. Yeah, if you load this blade in there proper, it will hold onto the blade. There's no issues with that. The issue is there's just not enough material there to catch the blade properly every time when you load it. And then when you look at the head here, the edge here is very thin also. So with a bunch of this material missing and not being as thick as the Feather here, you are going to run into some issues. And I'm going to show you what those issues are. Let's put these caps back on. So I got the cap back on there. This is the cheap Bang Ming. And then we'll get the Feather cap back on, and then we'll load the blade, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this Feather here, you could take this blade and you could toss this blade in there any way you want, no matter as long as it's proper, right? And it's going to go in there and it's going to be perfect. It's going to be loaded in there perfect every single time. And you can load it however you want. You can load it like this, you can load it like this. It doesn't matter. If you're putting the blade in there properly, it's going to load proper. And so with the cheap knockoff here, that edge is so thin, and it is on the cap, that you have to load the blade, you have to load the razor with the cap down. That way gravity will help you, and this will seat on that cap. So we'll get it in there, slide it down, and then you can see that the blade is in there perfect. No problem with that. So let's take it out, and with that cap being up in the air, now you don't have gravity helping you here. So we're going to take this razor blade and we're going to load it. See if I can get it on camera here. We're going to load it with the cap up, where we're not going to have no... Oh, I didn't get it in there right. Or the cap, we're going to load it with the cap up where we don't have the gravity helping us, and you'll see how it loads in there. And it's not there. It's not there. There is no blade there. There is no blade. It completely disappeared. Completely disappeared into the razor. It's a big flaw. So if you guys have one of these cheap ones and you were loading this razor, and there it did load, but let's take a look at how it loaded. You have a little bit of blade here, and then it almost disappears into nothing. So these are definitely flawed. You really have to be vigilant and pay attention to how this blade is sitting inside of your razor. If you have one of these cheap knockoffs, you definitely want to load it with the cap down. You load it with the cap down, and that gives you the opportunity to use gravity, and then it loads. It loads perfect, just like that. See if it'll come into focus. There it is. So the blade is in there good now. And yeah, so that is one of the things I noticed on these cheap razors. It bothered me really bad. I really wanted to figure out what was going on with it. I was playing with it, and I ended up figuring that out because I actually went to load it and shave with it, and it was so smooth, and I was like, whoa, where did the blade go? I thought the blade had fell out, but the blade actually went all the way down into the razor. And that is the problem, is that on this cap, that edge is so thin that the razor will just slide right by that edge, and it'll bury itself deep inside of here, and it won't even be exposed, and it won't even shave. Like I said, this guy right here, the feather, you can load it however you want, and that blade is going to sit in there perfect. So hopefully this helped you guys, because like I said, I ran into this problem, and I was looking for solutions. I was researching. I looked online, I looked on YouTube, and I couldn't find any information. Nobody's explaining, anything about these cheap razors. And yeah, I just wanted to explain what I found, the problems, the issues that I found with them for you guys. So anyway, hope you guys like this video. I hope this helps you out. If you guys are having problems with these and you guys think, oh, this is a waste of money, I gotta throw it away. No, you can still use it, but just be mindful of how you're loading the blade on there. There is a certain way to load the blade, that way you can use it. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully this helped you guys. If you guys liked it, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. You guys take care of yourselves. You hear? God bless.